بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. In the name of God, the compassionate and the merciful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear brothers and sisters, respected viewers, lovers of Ahlul Bayt, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhim ajma'een. Welcome to the third episode of Fatimiya discussion. I'm Mustafa Al-Khatib, and inshallah this night we're going to discuss another fact of Fatimiyya and what happened to the house of Fatimah Al Zahraa salamullah alayha after the martyrdom of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. Let me welcome our guest, Sayyid Al-Nawab, and inshallah with him we're going to go through this discussion and we'll know more about what happened in that time. Assalamu alaikum Sayyidina and welcome to the show.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Thank you for having me. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us to be able to get some facts across to the dear viewers.
Inshallah, inshallah. Sayyidina, this is a great opportunity of being here in Karbala and next to the holy shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. I'm sure that all the respected viewers wish to be here. So as long as they are not here, we are going to represent them by standing on our feet and saying salam to Imam Hussein alayhi salam and Abu
Inshallah.
Abbas alayhi salam on their behalf. And inshallah after that we will start the discussion. Inshallah. Please.
Inshallah. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله الحسين. السلام عليك يا مولاي وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا أبا الفضل العباس بن أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا ساقي عطاشا كربلاء. السلام عليك وعلى أمك الطاهرة أم البنين وعلى أختك الحوراء زينب وعلى إخوتك المستشهدين بين يدي الإمام الحسين يوم عاشوراء جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Respected viewers, today we are going to discuss the proofs regarding the attack to the house of Lady Fatimah Al Zahraa salamullah alayha, the proofs from the Sunni sources and the Shia sources. But before we go through this discussion from the previous episode, actually, we had another question. The last question of the previous episode was left. So let me ask that question from the respected guest, Sayyid Ali Nawab. And inshallah, after that, we are going to go through this topic, which is the proof of the attack to the house of the Sayyidah Fatimah Al Zahraa salamullah alayha. Sayyidina, according to what we talked about the last episode, the last question, the previous episode, I'm sorry, the last question was about the intention behind attacking the house of Fatimah Al Zahraa salamullah alayha in the context of the new government. They were a new government. What was their intention, Umar and Abu Bakr, to attack the house of Fatimah al-Zahra salamullah alayha, please?
أحسنتم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على فاطمة وأبيها وبعلها وبنيها والسر المستودع فيها عدد ما أحاط به علمك. As we discussed in the previous episode, the facts surrounding the events of Saqifa and what happened when they decided to choose a person from amongst themselves to take the place of the rightful leader chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to lead the ummah.
Yeah.
And then the consequences when they forced the Muslims to pay allegiance. A group of their companions, including Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, were occupied with the burial of the Holy Prophet of Islam. Hence, they did not go to, at least in front of the Muslims, pay allegiance. And eventually, this turned into a physical, violent dangerous attack on the house of Ali ibn Abi Talib, Amir
So,
al-Mu'minin salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. And the intentions are clear. For individuals to plan an uprising, a coup, and to oppose, to stand on the side of opposition against the rightful leader, against the rightful representative of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, that itself is going against Islam.
sure.
That itself is going against the Holy Quran and the numerous narrations or sayings that were passed on or delivered by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam to the Muslims in the duration of his message, the 21 or 23 years that he was propagating for Islam. So the intention was to complete their plan to the best of their ability. Um, Later on, when once they came years after, once they came to sit down and think about the consequences of the attack that they had done, narrations narrate. We don't know whether truthfully and sincerely they were apologetic or not, or they regretted what they done. But later on, uh, they have been narrated by saying that they wish they did not
Yeah.
attack the house of Ali and Fatima alayhim salam. But at the beginning, at that time, it was clear that their intention was not to allow anyone to stand in front of them, because they wanted to take power, and they did, at least visually,
Yeah.
um, and they didn't mind doing anything to make that uprising and that opposition successful, even if it meant attacking, violating the rules of Islam, and attacking the house of the Prophet's daughter, and endangering and placing the lives of the Muslims, the companions of Rasulullah, and the immediate family members, the relatives of Rasulullah, in danger, which they did.
Yeah.
So here it is clear and apparent that it was in their intention, even if it meant that they killed Fatimah Al Zahraa alayhi salam, and they violently attacked the house of Ali ibn Abi Talib and killed his children. So be it. We will do anything it takes as long as we keep the throne and its power.
Okay, so say that back to our topic for this episode, the proofs of the attack to the house of the Holy Prophet's daughter, Lady Fatimah Al Zahra, salamullah alayha. I would like to ask you about the proofs among the Sunni narrations. Is there any proof for this attack between the Sunni narrations?
Of course. Now I would like to read to you exactly what uh, is mentioned from Sunni sources,
Uh huh.
but for the benefit of the doubt of those who are not familiar, that in their own books, things, details of the attack
Has
is
been narrated.
narrated. Um, I will read some sections in Arabic and then try to translate.
Good.
The first one is there is a book called the Musannaf wa Abi Shayba.
Hmm.
This is a very well known book in the other schools of thought. Rawa ibn Abi Shayba, who has died 235 Hijri. في مصنفه volume number 8 page 572 بسند صحيح, according to the right sahih narrations, which has been narrated according to the measurements of what sahih is next to them.
Yeah.
أن عمر بن الخطاب قال للزهراء عليه السلام, Umar says to Fatima عليه السلام, مهددا إياها, he is violently speaking to Fatima al-Zahra, and he is speaking in a manner to show that he is going to do something towards Fatima al-Zahra. وأيم الله, he swears an oath, ما ذاك بمانع إن اجتمع هؤلاء النفر, and he says to Fatima, oh Fatima, what is going to happen is not going to stop me if those individuals, and by those individuals he means Imam Ali alayhi salam, Amir al-Mu'mineen, Zubayr ibn al-Awwam, and the rest of the companions like Salman,
Yeah.
Ammar, Abu Dhar, Miqdad. Those individuals, if they come into your house,
Hmm.
this is not going to stop me from burning your house.
Allahu Akbar.
أن أمرتهم أن يحرق عليهم البيت.
La ilaha illallah.
Now this has been, as I said, narrated in Musannaf ibn Abi Shaybah.
So Omar claims that he's going to do this no matter what
He's
happens.
saying, Fatima. Now listen to the tone,
It's
listen to
it's
the
a
way he's speaking
he's
to.
threatening Fatimah Al Zahra salamullah alayha
Now
at
if
the
you see
first
a
hand.
alim in front of you,
Yeah.
you will speak with them in all manner,
Yeah.
let alone this person being the daughter of the Prophet of Islam. And then the same narration has been narrated وأخرجه الحاكم النيسابوري. حاكم النيسابوري is a well-known
Is a well-known
individual.
person. Yeah.
In his Mustadrak, volume number 3, page 155. And then Hakim puts notes, he comments on this narration. He says, هذا حديث صحيح. He acknowledges that this hadith has been narrated is a sahih hadith. So he's acknowledging that what Umar said to Fatima is correct.
That's correct. He has said that. Yes.
Yes. صحيح الإسناد على شرط الشيخين. The Shaykhain are Bukhari and
And
Muslim.
Muslim. Yeah.
ولم يخرجاه, and they did not dismiss this riwayah. They accepted it as well. وصححه غير واحد من علماء أهل العامة, and this has been also narrated from other ulama as well. Let me narrate you another one.
Okay.
روى ابن قتيبة الدينوري, again another individual who passed away or died 276 Hijrah, in the book well known by Al-Imam wa Siyasa,
Yes.
volume number 1, page number 20. بسنده عن أبي عون وغيره. أبي عون, the narrators that they rely on. أن أبا بكر بعث إلى من في دار الإمام علي عليه السلام. Abu Bakr
Yeah.
sends individuals to speak to those inside the house of Amir al-Mu'mineen عليه السلام. Amongst those, Umar ibn al-Khattab. فجاء, Umar comes to the house of Ali ibn Abi Talib. فناداهم وهم في دار علي عليه السلام. He came, spoke to them and asked them to come out.
Yeah.
فأبوا أن يخرجوا. They did not come out.
Yeah. They denied to come out. Yeah.
فدعا بالحطب. Now this is not a Shia narration.
This is a Sunni narration
This is a
actually.
Sunni narration from a Sunni book. Listen to what Umar done when someone does not want to speak to you.
Okay.
Don't want to speak to me? Fine. I go. I turn my back and I go back. So how does Umar relate or speak to those individuals, and what does he do afterwards? That needs other episodes. He was a violent individual. He was violent by nature. فدعا بالحطب. He asked for wood, for branches of tree. Why would you ask for branches of tree if your intention is to speak to someone, to hold a dialogue,
Yeah.
to have a discussion? Why would you need to bring wood to the house of someone so dear to
And
the
the
Muslims?
Arabic language, the hatab is used for the branch of wood which is
Which is
specified
dried, which is
and
used
dried and
for
for fire to
burning, for
set fire. Yeah.
cooking.
Yeah.
وقال, here this is the statement of Umar ibn al-Khattab. والذي نفس عمر بيده. He swears to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the one that, assuming he believes
Yeah.
that the soul is in his hands. لتخرجن وإلا أو لأحرقناها على من فيها.
Allah.
It says, by Allah, you shall leave, you shall come out, exit the house, or we shall burn it upon those inside the house. فقيل له, the people inside the house or the people with him outside.
Yeah, they replied him. They told him.
يا أبا حفص, They used to call him Aba Hafs because his daughter was Hafsa.
Was Hafsa, yeah.
And his son was Hafs as well, Aba Hafs. إن فيها فاطمة. Now, okay, you want to speak to Zubair, you want to speak to Salman, you want to speak to Baghdad, but they are in the house of Fatima. They are
Daughter
not
of
in their own
the
homes.
Holy Prophet Muhammad is
This is the
there.
house of Fatima. The children, Hassan, Hussein, Zainab, Kulthum, Amir al-Mu'mineen. They are inside the house. You just said you wanted to burn, even if it means you burn the house. قال, and this is the tragedy. قال نعم وذلك أقوى فيما جاء به أبوك. Sorry. قال وإن.
What in?
So what?
Let be.
Let it be. Even if Fatima burns to death, I shall burn the house.
Allah.
Why? Just for merely you want to bring a couple of people outside to force them to come in front of the Muslims and pay allegiance to make your throne more stronger?
Does it worth it?
Is it really going to be worth this hassle? I will narrate you a third one and inshallah we will continue our discussion. Rawa al-Baladhuri. Baladhuri, again another
Another
important figure
Sunni scholar, yeah.
in the other schools of thought. Tuwaffiya, he died, passed away in the year 279. So these individuals, they were close to each other. In his book Ansabul Ashraf, volume number 1, page 586, عن ابن عون, again the same individual, أن أبا بكر, أبو بكر أرسل عليا يريد البيعة. He sent after Ali ibn Abi Talib, wanting him to pay allegiance. فلم يبايع. They are acknowledging that Ali ibn Abi Talib was asked by Abu Bakr to come and pay allegiance and he didn't.
Yeah.
So there must be a reason.
Sure.
Because we know Amir al-Mu'mineen, he does everything that is in the interest of Islam. Now, for him to deny the fact that, oh, Abu Bakr, I'm not going to come and pay allegiance to you, that means there is a problem in you. فلم يبايع فجاء عمر ومعه فتيلة. Umar came carrying a torch, فتيلة.
Yeah.
فتلقته فاطمة على الباب. فاطمة الزهراء spoke to Umar from behind the door. فقالت فاطمة يا ابن الخطاب, O son of Khattab, أتراك محرقا علي بابي? Do I see you wanting to burn my door upon me? It is difficult for me
Allah.
to read these narrations, but this is a fact that everyone needs to know.
Sure.
Because unfortunately today, in this day and age, there are individuals falsely, they have been lied to and they take this individual as a role model and as a leader. Now look at this individual who you love and you follow and you defend, how he is treating the daughter of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. قال نعم. Fatima says, I see you wanting to burn the house upon me. Umar replies, نعم وذلك أقوى فيما جاء به أبوك. And this is as a result of how your father treated us. He did not give us our portion of power because their intention was power and leadership. And I would like to, between brackets, comment, and I would say that it wasn't the Holy Prophet not wanting to give
Yeah.
you
That
what.
was Allah's order.
It was Allah, because you did not have the what it takes for you to become a leader. And the Muslims saw the fact that in battles and in wars, you weren't able to represent the army of Islam in Ahzab and Khaybar.
If they were qualified to take any port of the government, they would have shown this in the battle of Badr, Khandaq, Ahzab, Uhud.
But what
In
did
Uhud, they all ran away. Even
Rasulullah on many occasions, used to come out, stand in front of the army, and you are in the army, and he says, Mali hadha, and pointing to Amr ibn Abdawid,
Yeah, but no one
but
answers.
no one came out.
Only Commander of Faithful Ali ibn
You
Abi
are
Talib
only
alayhi.
able to show your strength upon the door of Fatimah Al Zahraa.
Here, Omar, I'm sorry, just in parentheses, here Omar claims that in the Battle of Uhud, I ran away just like a goat running away from the wolves. He claimed this upon himself.
Yes, he confesses.
So,
He confesses that he is not up to the job. Whilst there were other individuals who were normal Muslims, but look at how they were able to sacrifice their lives and leave their families behind just to save the Holy Prophet and Islam.
Allahu Akbar.
So these are only a glimpse of some of the riwayat.
Yeah.
And the proof of this has been placed in publications, volumes after volumes after volumes, which one needs months and months to sit down
Just from the Sunnah
just
narrations.
from the Sunnah narrations. And I urge and I encourage anyone from any background they are from, any sect they follow, to put it in their mind that they want to seek truth. They want to reach what really happened. Keep out taking sides. I don't want you to take sides. Be neutral.
Yeah.
Open the books. Read. Investigate. And soon you will find where the truth lies and who was on the right path and who was not on the
On
right
the wrong
path.
path. Allahu Akbar. So this was for the Sunni narrations, and I would like to ask you, if you don't mind, tell us a glimpse of the Shia narrations for the proof of the attack of Umar to the house of Fatimah al-Zahra salamullah alayha.
Now, the following narrations, as you said, are from the Shia sources. روى أبو إسحاق الثقفي.
Yeah.
He lived until 283 Hijrah. بسنده عن حمران ابن أعين عن أبي عبد الله الصادق صلوات الله وسلامه عليه. Imam Sadiq says, والله ما بايع علي. He swears an oath by Allah. Ali alayhi salam did not pay allegiance. حتى رأى الدخان قد دخل بيته. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says, my grandfather Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib did not go to the masjid, did not pay allegiance to Abu Bakr until they came to his house, they burned to the door, and he saw and felt the smoke entering the house,
Which means it was
which
by
was
force.
which means that because he didn't go to the masjid and pay allegiance, do bay'ah, they came and burnt the house. Now this activity in the time of Amir al-Mu'mineen and Fatimah Al Zahraa, what does it remind you of the life that we are living today? That there are individuals, they follow those individuals, and they come and by force they make people follow their thoughts and ideology.
It's ISIS
They come and burn your house down, they demolish your house because you are not from them, you are not following their
ideology.
ideology and mentality. Then they will assume that you are against them. They will demolish your house, they will make you leave. Where? Allah knows. The second narration, قال أحمد بن يعقوب اليعقوبي,
Yeah.
and he is a alim that was in the 3rd century. In his book, which was published for purposes of history and historical facts, في تاريخه مجلد volume number 2 page 126, وبلغ أبا بكر وعمر أن جماعة من المهاجرين والأنصار قد اجتمعوا مع علي بن أبي طالب في منزل فاطمة بنت رسول الله. It came to the attention of Abu Bakr and Umar that a group of Muhajirin and Ansar have congregated in the house of Ali and Fatima alayhim as-salam. فأتوا Abu Bakr and Umar, they came في جماعة حتى هجموا على الدار ودخلوا الدار. They came with a group for the purpose of attacking the burning the door and the house of Amir al-Mu'minin, and they, after doing that, they entered the house. Attacking the house, burning the door is one thing, and entering and the house is another crime.
Sure.
Narration number 3. روى الحسين بن حمدان الخصيبي. He, again in the 3rd century, died 334 after Hijrah. In his book في الهداية الكبرى, page 163, عن عامر ابن واثلة عن أمير المؤمنين. Amir narrates from Amir al-Mu'minin directly. أنه قال, Amir al-Mu'minin says, في حديث طويل, in a discussion, a lengthy discussion with, here it uses the word Khalifa, but I am reading it as it is mentioned,
Yeah.
because we do not believe that he was a chosen leader from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أنه قال في جملة حديث طويل له مع الخليفة الثاني, Imam speaking to Umar, he says, وهي النار التي أضرمتموها على باب داري. And one of those crimes is the burning or the fire that you brought to burn down upon me my house. لتحرقوني وفاطمة بنت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم وابني الحسن والحسين وابنتي زينب وأم كلثوم.
Allahu Akbar.
You did not only burn down my house, but you brought fire to burn me, the daughter of Rasulullah, my sons Hassan and Hussein, the grandchildren, the grandsons, and my daughters Zainab and Kulthum. So you basically wanted to annihilate the whole family.
Yeah.
You wanted to wipe away the progeny of Rasulullah. You did not want any mention to remain from Rasulullah. Oh Umar, if you sincerely take Islam as a religion, and you, as you say or claim that you follow Rasulullah, then why did you come in the intention of wanting to burn down and kill myself and my family and my
At
children?
least he had to have kind of respect towards the household of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him.
I would say this is an individual that for years lived under the banner of Islam,
Yes.
and he committed these acts.
Allahu Akbar.
We did not see enemies of the Holy Prophet of Islam
Doing this.
doing this act, and they were arch enemies, they were strong enemies. As an example, one person from the deserts came inside the city of Mecca wanting to kill the Holy Prophet of Islam because he had heard many things. He came, he started asking people, where is Muhammad? Where is Muhammad? They pointed towards the Holy Kaaba, where Rasulullah was worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alongside his companion. He came, he said, أنت الذي تزعم أنك رسول الله? You are the one that claims he is the Prophet of Allah? Rasulullah, with calmness, with a smile on his face, he said, Naam, yes I am. He took Rasulullah by his clothing from his throat. Rasulullah smiled in his face, very calmly, explained to him, if you are in need of something, if you are in need of shelter, if you are in need of help, water, whatever, I am here. Soon he realized that this man has akhlaq. Then he let go and he entered Islam truthfully. And he only saw Rasulullah for a couple of moments. He did not finish what he wanted to do because of the akhlaq of Rasulullah. Then you, an individual who lived numerous years, you saw the virtues of Rasulullah. You saw how Rasulullah saved your life from the darkness of ignorance and he brought you towards Islam, and you treat him and his family in this manner.
Allah.
And again,
Yeah, there are
I
actually
have many
there are lots of narrations, but I've
narrations.
got a question here, as the evidences from the Sunni narrations and the Shia narrations, the tragic evidences. Right now, you just read for us. My question is that, okay, what is the difference between these narrations and the other sides?
Um, it's very obvious. These narrations, the narration that has been narrated by other schools of thought, um, the narrators were from the other schools,
Yeah.
and they took Abu Bakr and Omar as leaders for themselves.
Uh-huh.
At least they respected them, and they thought and they saw compulsory upon themselves to accept everything they said, being the first and the second as they believe. So he can't openly, the narrator cannot come openly and write in his book the, the specific details of what they did to the house of Amir al-Mu'mineen Fatimah Al Zahraa alayhi salam. So their conscience doesn't allow it. From one side, he takes Abu Bakr and Umar as a leader for himself, but on another side, this is the family of Rasulullah. So what they do is they try to wash down some of the specific details, and they narrate general,
Just a surface.
the surface details
Yeah.
of what happened. That they came to the house, they brought coal, but they don't go into specific details of for example, Umar crushing Fatima Zahra
But in the
between.
first glimpse, we can see that, okay, this
It is
evidence
enough.
happened. This is
It is
enough.
enough
Yeah, definitely.
for any truthful individual.
But it's enough, but still, there are some people who ignore it, who deny it, who say that, okay, the evidences for this aren't enough, so they don't accept it. What should we say to them?
Well, we say to them, either you are an individual who is not understanding the complexity of the situation and what effects, negative effects it has on your belief and on the Islamic Ummah, and the 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 results and the consequences it had and it still has and will continue having on the well-being of Islam and Muslims in terms of their faith and iman. Or you are an individual that deliberately that does not want to find the knowledge and find the truth. Because there are individuals that you present them with evidence, and they don't accept evidence from our books. They want evidence from their own
Their
books.
own books.
You bring these evidences, or you tell them, okay, go to Sahih Bukhari, volume so and so, chapter so and so, page so and so, hadith number, for example, 1500.
Yeah.
He goes to the library, he goes to the bookshop, he buys Bukhari, or he goes online, he doesn't find the narration that you're directing him towards. He will come and say to you that you're lying. I will say to him, no, I'm not lying. But your ulama are doing things to make you and make sure that you don't find these riwayat. Because the later publications,
They wipe out.
they take away these sensitive riwayat.
Allah.
So what one needs to do is work a little bit harder, and go and find the older publications of Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim and other publications of those narrators that we narrated. The references are there, the evidence is there, but it needs, first of all, tawfiq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You need to be receiving some sort of acceptance from Allah for you to be able to go and find the truth. If Allah loves someone, they will put in them the love of going and finding the
The
truth,
truth.
directing them, guiding them towards the right path,
Indeed.
inshallah.
Inshallah. Inshallah. Sayyidina, what you discussed and the narrations that you just revealed for us from both Sunni and Shia sources are really hurting the heart. They break the heart. And I would like to ask you, while just reading them and just going through them, it is itself a musibah. But I would like to give us a musibah recitation so we can sympathy with the pain of Ahlul Bayt salawatullah wa salam alayhim ajma'in.
Inshallah, I will take a portion of the tragedy and how it's been narrated to us, and that itself is a musibah.
Yeah.
After attacking the house of Fatima, after burning down the door, and after Umar ibn al-Khattab being the first individual to enter the house of Amir al-Mu'mineen, and feeling and noticing that Fatima is behind the door, he crushed her very, very abusively, very violently. فلما سمع القوم صوتها وبكاءها انصرفوا باكين. And then when people heard the sound and the voice of Fatima and her cries, they backed out. وبقى عمر ومعه قوم ودعا بهم أن يدخلوا إلى الدار. So Umar enters the house. فأخذت النار في خشب الباب ودخل الدخان إلى البيت. فدخل قنفذ يده يروم فتح الباب. فأخذت فاطمة عليه السلام. قنفذ places his hand to be able to open the door further. فأخذت فاطمة عليه السلام بعضادتي الباب. Fatima holds on to the handle of the door. تمنعهم من فتح الباب. She wanted to stop them from entering the house. وقالت ناشدتكم الله وأبي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله أن تكفوا عنا وتنصرفوا. I ask you by Allah and in the name of my father Rasulullah to leave us alone. Do not hurt us further. Leave and go. فأخذ عمر الصوت من قنفذ. لا إله إلا الله. Umar takes the whip from قنفذ وضرب به عضدها. فالتوى الصوت على يديها حتى صار كمثل الدملج. This whip surrounded, turned around the arm of Fatima until it became like an armband. فضرب عمر الباب برجله فكسره. Umar kicked in the door so he broke it. وفاطمة عليه السلام قد الصقت أحشاها بالباب تترسه. She stuck herself, her body to the door, wanting to stop him. فركل الباب برجله وعصرها بين الباب والحائط عصرة شديدة. Then he squeezed and squashed Fatima between the door and the wall.
Allah.
عصرة شديدة قاسية حتى كادت روحها أن تخرج من شدة العصرة. ونبت المسمار في صدرها ونبع الدم من صدرها. Until she was going to fall unconscious, pass away. Why? Because the nail pierced her chest and the blood started gushing out from the chest of Fatimah Al Zahraa Salamullahi alayha. Assalamu ala الصديقة الشهيدة. السلام على السيدة المظلومة فاطمة الزهراء صلوات الله عليها.
Ahsant. Thank you so much, Sayyidina. May Allah bless you. Thank you so much. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا آل محمد أي منقلب ينقلبون. Soon, the oppressors of Ahlul Bayt salawatullahi wa salamu alayhim ajma'een will know and see how they are going to be behaved in hereafter. Thank you so much, respected viewers, for tuning in. Have a great time and labbaika ya Hussein.